was Chandigarh or whether it is Noida or others, do you take anything from a decade to 2 decades or even longer to develop? So this private capital is not going to be required on day one. It will be required as these projects gather steam and momentum.
But what's there for the private sector? And will it prove to be commercially viable?
There are activities which don't have the ability to generate commercial revenues. Typically, urban roads, sewage, solid waste disposal can generate revenues, but certainly not enough to recover the capital cost. Whereas there are other kinds of activities which are obvious, electricity generation, telecom services, power generation, which can easily be water even, which can be more commercially viable. And those are then left to the private sector. But even where you are looking at public funding, financing those assets, which have to be necessarily financed by public funding, it does not mean, and that's an important distinction to make, it does not mean that the provider of those services has to be the public.
Kant is aware of the situation, and perhaps that is why the DMIC has sought around 18,500 crore rupees to build the trunk infrastructure. Like drainage, water supply and public transport.
One must realize that there is a very important component of the trunk infrastructure. If you don't have good drainage, if you don't have good sewage, if you don't crack the trunk infrastructure, which is commercially not viable, the other component of the private-public partnership will not happen. So the trunk infrastructure, to our mind, is the key, and that is where the government needs to step in. New cities, over a 30-year period, are very commercially viable. They take a longer period. They take 13 years, 14 years to break even. But once they break even, then they generate a lot of resources. And from that 13th year to the 30th year, they in fact generate so much of resources that you can make many more cities. But the key challenge here is that you should be able to monetize land value. That is the key challenge.
Monetizing land value is not the only challenge. In fact, the list of challenges is a rather long one. From land acquisition to financing to governance. When we come back, we'll see at what the road ahead for DMIC looks like.
Braj Binani Group and Bloomberg UTV present Building India. Braj Binani Group and Bloomberg UTV present Building India.
That is how the future cities of a country would look like. If the projections by the DMIC project are anything to go by. It is perhaps the most ambitious project since independence. From building mega industrial zones to building mega cities. The DMIC wants to give the country a complete facelift. But planning is one thing, and translating plans into reality is another. As Pradeep Singh, the Vice Chairman and Managing Director of IDFC Project says, master plans are often more violated than being followed.
Once again, Gujarat is going to act ahead of its times. Once again, it is going to create history. It is going to create the Special Investment Regions, or the SIRs, that will reshape India's industrial and economic face. It is going to set up the Dholera Special Investment Region. This very first SIR showcases the global vision and the big dream of Gujarat's Chief Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. The Dholera SIR is going to be developed in an area of more than 360 square kilometers. It will be developed as a global hub of economic activity, supported by world-class infrastructure, premium civic amenities and centers of excellence. It will cater to both international and domestic markets. The SIR will have multiple business, financial, recreation.
Through a smart wastewater system allows for 100% recyclability of domestic and industrial wastewater up to tertiary standards, and the smart stormwater management system saves, harvests and treats stormwater runoff, which ensures sustainability and creates a city water body to enhance quality of life. An integrated solid waste management facility is planned to handle all types of solid waste, like municipal solid waste, industrial solid waste, e-waste and biomedical waste, and will include waste-to-energy generation facility. Using technologies, this entire framework will be automated, making the process smarter and the city cleaner. A smart city needs to create and utilize smart power. To shape this vision into reality, Dholera will implement smart metering and monitoring to minimize losses and ensure a reliable power supply. Earning the smart tag, Dholera will focus on various forms of renewable